Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 118. The collapse of the ICE industry is happening right in front of our eyes. And the Australian politicians might be waking up and starting to see the sustainable revolution. And the legacy automakers are still lining up to tell us all that they will beat Tesla. And Tesla is making more and more long-term deals with mining companies. And BMW is making some dangerous bets. And the stock market is down, which makes for a great buying opportunity. So all of this and much more on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
The collapse of the ICE industry is happening right in front of our eyes. Toyota on Wednesday reported a 33% fall in quarterly profit. But the bad news continues here in 2022. The world's biggest automaker by sales posted an operating profit by $3.56 billion in Q1. But remember, Tesla made $3.6 billion in Q1. People that are still screaming about Tesla being doomed and the competition is coming for them are not really looking at these numbers. It does not come much clearer than this, what is going on right now. Tesla makes about 9 times less cars in a year than the biggest boy of them all, Toyota, but made as much profit, actually a tiny bit more profit than Toyota in Q1 of 2022. Are people not seeing this? The old boys are collapsing right in front of us. The Volkswagen Group sales here in April year over year is down 37.8%, and Tesla is rising faster than anything we have ever seen in the history of complex manufacturing. And it looks like Volkswagen will even have a bit of trouble getting their EV target of 700,000 BEVs sold here in 2022, with only 99,000 units sold in all of Q1. And Toyota wants profits to skid 20% this year as raw materials cost pile up. As Toyota's CEO said, "We need to work with suppliers to cut cost." Oh shit, Sherlock. This is a class example of a company being reactive. Oh my god, the prices of raw materials has gone up. We have to raise our prices because we are losing our profits. Where Tesla is the exact opposite. They are proactive. They have been raising their prices through the last 12 months. And as Tesla explained on the last earnings call, that is because they anticipated materials cost to go up over the next 12 months. That is why they raised their prices in anticipation of rising prices in raw material. And that is why Tesla is still making great profits. Because Tesla knows some of their cars will not be delivered before 12 months from now. So they hope they have raised their prices enough to match the prices in 12 months. Or as Elon just said in an interview, they might have to stop taking orders of some models because orders are starting to get too far out in the future, so it becomes almost impossible to control prices of the car. Just as they did with the Cybertruck. Yeah, people that are betting against Tesla and betting on old legacy automakers are not really looking at these numbers, are they? It's not like I want Toyota to fail. I hope they do survive, but I will not bet my money on it. But I am betting my money on that Tesla will become the biggest automaker the world has ever seen. And on another note, you guys won't believe what I'm going to tell you. I know you have heard me talk about Masterworks before, but they just gave me some numbers. And over $100,000. That's how much you guys have invested in Masterworks so far. Over $100,000 invested in world-famous artworks from legends like Picasso, Banksy and Warhol. If you would put that $100,000 into your saving account, you would probably have been looking at $92,000 right now thanks to the inflation. But instead, that's over $100,000 that are free from the effect of inflation thanks to art's status as an inflation hedge because it's a physical asset that holds its value. In fact, the art market just saw record-breaking auction numbers, with the sale of Warhol's Shut Sheds Blue Marilyn for a whopping $195 million, which the New York Times says underscored the global strength of the high-end art market at a time of volatility in the broader financial markets. So yeah, it sounds to me like that $100,000 is in good hands. If you aren't one of the lucky subscribers who signed up with Masterworks already, don't worry, I got you covered. Just click my link in the description below to get your priority access to skip their waitlist. Enjoy. And one that is starting to open their eyes for the electrification revolution is Australia. We might just see the first step of Australia taking this first step to what we've been talking about before, that they should try to challenge China to become the world's leader in raw materials for batteries. Australian politicians have not really embraced the EV revolution yet. All the renewables that their country is just pretty much set up for, it is a very sunny place, so solar panels are a very obvious choice, and Australia is home to a huge amount of raw materials needed for batteries and much more. But we have seen before the famous stupid words from Scott Morrison about Tesla's big battery in South Australia.
By all means, have the world's biggest battery, have the world's biggest banana, have the world's biggest prawn, like we have on the roadside along the highways around the country. But that's not solving the problem.
But oh boy, did he get proven wrong. But the poor Scott just didn't understand it. 100 megawatt output, that is not going to do anything. The state uses 3000 megawatt. But Scott should probably have Googled Frequency Controlled Auxiliary Service, FCAS, because upon the introduction of the Hornsdale Power Plant Reserve into the FCAS market, average yearly regulation FCAS cost from South Australian generators fell from a high of 470 Australian dollars per megawatt hour to less than $40 per megawatt hour, resulting in a considerably saving in the South Australian energy cost, just to mention one little benefit, because not only did the battery help stabilize South Australia's grid, but also provide a good and rapid response to changes in the load of the grid in milliseconds for a cheaper cost than traditional power plants. But it also cut costs for customers, and the battery paid itself off in only 2 years. No wonder that Neon, the energy company that built the Hornsdale Power Plant Reserve, expanded the battery with 50% pretty quickly, because for them it is just good business. But all of this was apparently something Scott Morrison knew nothing about. Luckily for Australia, the tide seems to be turning, because the election is coming up here on May 21st, and if the Labour Party is elected, we could start to see some big change in Australia. The Labour Party has just made a significant announcement about establishing a world-class battery manufacture hub in Gladstone, Queensland, and during the announcement it became clear they have been in deep discussion with Tesla, and the Labour Party promised to kick off their plan with the battery manufacturing. And we have seen earlier this year that mines that was abandoned some 30 years ago is reopening. All of this will be so good for the Australian economy, because the mines will generate thousands of jobs, boosting the local economy as well, and the raw material they dig up will boost Australia's economy. And renewables and batteries built from these raw materials will help Australia with their high electricity prices and give them a more stable grid. Yes, this could be the start of something huge for Australia. Go Australia, go, go, go.
We've been quite pleasantly surprised, and would encourage more of this technology into the grid.
And the legacy automakers are all lining up to tell us they will overtake Tesla. Maybe they should just start focusing on selling more EVs. Not only is GM out saying they will be able to catch Tesla by 2025, but Volkswagen CEO Herbert Diess has been out saying again that they will be able to catch Tesla by 2025. It will be a close race, but they think they can do it. It is all very nice and easy to say, of course. But one thing I think they all have in common is they don't believe Tesla will be able to scale up as fast as they say they will, because Tesla will probably be somewhere between 4 to 5 million vehicles in 2025. Volkswagen is not aiming for this high volume of production in 2025, which would be 50% of Volkswagen Group's global combined sales, and they don't expect to be at 60% globally before 2030. So this clearly shows us that it's not that Volkswagen, or GM for that matter, think they can execute on their own plans and get to 1 million or 2 EVs in 2025, but no one believes Tesla's plan. And we have to say, when it comes to production volume of EVs, Tesla is the only one on the planet that has executed on their plan so far. And their plan now is 20 million by 2030. But we also have to remember, Tesla is getting a lot of hate because they sometimes are late on their promises, but that is mostly related to full self-driving and some EV models they still have to introduce. But not on volume production. But the legacy automakers have been screaming for a decade that they will beat Tesla and become the EV leader. Nothing has changed except they keep pushing out the deadline. Just take a look at this article from 2013, when the Volkswagen Group's CEO at that time, Martin Winterkorn, said, "We are starting at exactly the right time. We are electrifying all vehicle classes and therefore have everything we need to make the Volkswagen Group the top automaker in all respects, including electric mobility, by 2018. But yeah, that clearly didn't happen. Not in 18, not in 19, not in 20, not in 2021. Tesla has just moved even further away. So I think it's safe to say not in 2022 either. And Volkswagen has even said they are not taking in any more orders for 2022. They are sold out of their EVs. So if they are already this constrained in production of EVs when Tesla is making 3 times as much as they are, how do they expect to catch up? Yeah, it does not make a lot of sense. And as I mentioned before, Volkswagen Group's target in 2022 is 700,000 BEVs and only delivered 99,000 here in the first quarter. So if they by some miracle make 700,000, they will have grown by 250,000 units here in 22. And in 2021 they grew by 219 units. So it doesn't seem like they will grow much faster this year, but Tesla is still aiming for more than 1.5 million units this year. So Tesla will at least be about 800,000 units in front of Volkswagen in 2022, and they were about 487,000 units in front in 2021. So Tesla is just growing much faster than Volkswagen is in units, even though Tesla sells about twice the amount of EVs. So sorry for the rant, but just getting a bit bored of hearing the same claims all the time from the legacy automakers every single year, but just pushing out the deadline further and further because they are not executing on what they're saying. Could you imagine if Volkswagen had actually gone all in back in 2013, as it pretty much sounded like they would? Where would they be today? They could absolutely have been the market leader. But they just wanted to sound good and create a bit of smoke and postpone the inevitable and waste their time on stupid hybrids. And oh yeah, 2 years after the article, they got busted with cheating with their emission test. And we had the Dieselgate, where they created software with the sole purpose of cheating and lying. So yeah, Volkswagen is doing pretty well now in the EV sector, but by no means at Tesla's level and will never be, in my opinion. Maybe they should just stop all the false statement and actually focus on getting some more EVs to market. In Q1 2022, still only 5% of Volkswagen cars sold were EVs. Please, Volkswagen, don't become as bad as GM, that is out there just straight up lying about them leading the world's EV race. It will only get more and more embarrassing when you in 2025 have yet again has not caught up to Tesla. And at that point you have been saying it for more than 12 years. Just let it go. And let us see what great EV goals you have and stop focusing on catching Tesla, because you clearly don't understand Tesla and where they will be. So stop embarrassing yourself and just focus on your own scaling of EVs. Just say we will be at 2 million EVs in 2025 if that is your goal. Great. Awesome. Focus on that and execute. But don't try to tell the world that Tesla will only be at 2 million in 2025, because you clearly don't know what you're talking about. Because as always, time will tell, but so far, time has only told us you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to Tesla's execution. And let's get our weekly update of Tesla's Gigafactories. That means handing it over to Brian from My Tesla Weekend. Take it away, Brian.
Well, production has resumed in Shanghai, but construction has not. There is no new footage to show. In Berlin, at the north end, the sprung structure has been removed, and the parking area up there is getting new grading, presumably to expand it. There's a little bit more solar panels going up on the roof of the main structure. The 4680 building is inching along, and new topsoil has been added, both to what will become the retention pond and to the landscaping in the northeast loading and logistics area. In Texas, we've got some new stuff going on there. Concrete has been torn up for rework along the west side. The HVAC on the roof is shaping up, and there appears to be new parking being added just south of the access road on the east side. Over where we thought the cathode building was going to be, there are a ton of blank white trailers loaded up, probably with construction or manufacturing equipment, but we shall see. In the northeast corner, where the cathode building is actually going, there's a ton of rebar on site, and it looks like all the steel structure has been laid out, ready for imminent erection. We've even seen a crane brought out, which will soon be doing the work. At the north end, the VOC pond has been drained, and it looks like they may be tearing this out to expand the electrical switchyard. The concrete bag plant is now genuinely gone, and the solar panels on the roof are of course expanding, if a bit slowly. And with the stock down, I wanted to thank you, Lars, for doing all the good work you do to help everyone maintain enthusiasm and get the best information to make the best decisions possible. I appreciate that. Back to you, Lars.
Thank you so much for the nice words, Brian. Much appreciated. And thank you so much for the update. See you next week. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. And we have heard about Tesla's stock price going down. It's going down. Relax, guys. The whole market is going down. It's not just Tesla. So I just see this as a great buying opportunity while everyone else is running around and panicking. This is just going to be a little blip in the radar on the way to the moon. And both Elon and JB Straubel said in an interview they just did that what people and the EV startup tend to forget is the 10 first years of Tesla. They just see Tesla and the success they have now and think, yeah, we want that, but they have to go through 10 years of hell and learning how to actually make a car to get there. And we can see this with Rivian. They have a great electric pickup truck, but they are far from home safe. Their free cash flow in Q1 was negative $1.45 billion. Yep, it is not easy to do what Tesla did. And we have got some numbers from the Tesla Shanghai factory and its production in April during the lockdown. Tesla China was only able to produce 10,757 vehicles in April 2022. So Tesla is probably down about 60,000 units for the Shanghai factory here in 2022. And no vehicles were exported to other territories from the Giga Shanghai during April. But we did just see 4,700 Teslas being shipped from Shanghai to Slovenia, first shipment from China's factory since April the 19th. But this does not make a big impact on Tesla's competitiveness in China, as most automakers has felt the lockdown. So the Tesla Model Y retail sales in China from January to April were 75,641 units, still up 246.5% from the 22,829 units a year ago, according to data released by the Chinese Passenger Car Association. So Tesla is still up about 250% in China year to date, and the Tesla Model Y remains China's best-selling premium SUV the 4th month of 2022, so it is all good. Elon Musk did just confirm that Tesla will expand the Giga Shanghai factory but won't build a new factory in China in the near term. As he said, China is obviously a very significant market. It is probably 25 to 30% of our market long term. So what he's saying there is about 5 to 6 million vehicles produced in 2030 from China. But he continues, we are not expecting to open an additional plant in China in the near future. We'll be expanding our Shanghai factory. We have focused on Berlin and Texas and getting those to high volume production. So the new factory we have been hearing about might just be the expansion of the Shanghai factory, maybe to the right of the factory where Tesla already is renting land from the Shanghai government. And the Tesla Model Y has also won US News Award for Best Luxury Electric SUV. Nice. And I did make a video this week trying to explain how Tesla's digital self-managed system and their 4D hexagon Q's production cells are working and making Tesla a very unique OEM. And I did ask Joe Joseph if I was getting close on how the factories were working, and he replied with some clapping hands, so I guess I'm getting close. So if you want to understand Tesla as a company, you need to watch this video, linked down below. And SpaceX is ready to begin its training of the astronauts for the first private spacewalk in history with their Polaris program. This program is just so very exciting, especially because the third mission will be in a human-crewed Starship. Boy, oh boy, do we have some exciting times ahead. And I did also just make a video this week about Tesla's robot and how pretty much a done deal it is. And on the same day, Jeff Roberts, who makes these great drone videos from Giga, Texas, showed this little video clip in his video.
Hey everybody, why did Tesla move this trailer from the east side storage lot to this area right in my drone's flight path? And then why, when we didn't notice it or make a big deal out of it, did they turn it 90 degrees so it completely faces the drone when I'm flying over it? I think this company is helping with the Tesla bot, and Tesla's given us a little nod and a hint that they are working on it right now. Anyway, thought that was a cool little thing that I would throw at you. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Very interesting. I had the pleasure of talking on Jacular Pugilists podcast, where we had an awesome talk. I really enjoyed that. They were some really cool guys. If you want to check it out, I will leave a link to the podcast down below. And Tesla makes more long-term deals with mining companies. Well confirms the disclosure by Tesla that it has signed a long-term contract to supply low-carbon Class 1 nickel in the United States from its operation in Canada. Nice. And BMW CEO Sip says, you can only stop further development of combustion technology if all customers worldwide switch to electric cars within 10 years. I'm not making that bet. That's a dangerous bet, BMW, but as always, time will tell. And Volkswagen is to release a faster dual-motor version of the ID.3 that is set to arrive when the car receives its midlife update, which is expected next year. So that is awesome, because I think the ID.3 could do with a little performance boost, because it's not a fun car in that perspective. Today only do a 0 to 100 kilometers in around 7.5 to 9 second range, but the ID.3 GTX is going to be an all-wheel drive and expected to do a 0 to 100 kilometers in 6.2 seconds, so much more fun. So still not Tesla performance. Maybe the ID.3R that should come out in 2024 will be able to get down a bit further in 0 to 60, but I still think Volkswagen is just afraid of making their EVs faster than their Golf GTI, as none of Volkswagen's electric cars comes with this fun acceleration as most other EVs out there do, because then why should anyone buy their more expensive ICE Golf GTI compared to the ID.3 GTX, for example? Because the Golf GTI's cost here in Denmark is pretty much on par with the price of a Tesla Model Y Performance. That is much faster, has much more room and much greater software. So no wonder that the Model Y is starting to beat the Golf sales here in Europe. But hopefully the ID.3 GTX will make the ID.3 even more attractive and a bit more fun. And Tesla puts India entry plan on hold after a deadlock on tariffs. So that's not going to happen anytime soon. Tesla's solar roof has a new competitor, IKEA. IKEA said it will start selling solar panels in selected markets in California this year. The company has been selling solar panels in some European markets since 2013, but it is now expanding its markets. Nice. And Tesla Denmark is now also making use of touchless deliveries, where a customer can come and pick up their cars even outside working hours. I still think this is a very good idea, because this could really help them deliver a lot more cars without more employees. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this YouTube channel. William Holverson, Daniel Serini, Paul Payne, Dan, and John Clark. And my new Be Nice and You Are member, Randy Letrop. And I thank you for watching, members, Declaration of Truth, and John Clark. Again, it seems. Thanks for your double support. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week, and this week's winner is Teresa Swatch. She has been a patron of mine for 3 months now and is also sharing information with me, so thank you so much for all your support and help. I will contact you on Patreon for details. And let's end off with a bit of fun. Tesla's mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. BMW's mission is to become the grill. That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to donation options in the show notes. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible, and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.